going to do my timeline. So, righto, I'm from Gunnedah. If anyone doesn't know where that is, smack bang of nowhere. About 14 hours, obviously Melbourne's down here somewhere, but 14 hours from Melbourne. Yeah, not much going on there, apart from the fact that supermodels are from there. So Miranda Kerr's from there, Erica Baxter, who ended up marrying James Packer, and also I'm from there as well. So that's me at 18 years old. So something in the water there at Gunnedah. This is my family. Up the back here, Paul, Amanda, my auntie Carolyn, my sister Christy, and my mum. I was a lot younger than all my brothers and sisters growing up, so I was the baby of the family. Here's my mum when I was back at Sydney. One of my biggest supports. She's been through all my stuff with me, and she's even done a fair bit of stuff that she's going through, and she's always got a smile on her face. And this is my old man, Michael. So my old man in 2011 ended up passing away to bowel cancer. He was sick from when I was about 15 years old, and then passed away when I was about 19. As every kid growing up, your father's your hero. You want to do everything, right by them, and you look up to them as a kid. And that was pretty evident from like last week when all the fathers were here for that special day, and it was pretty powerful. And my father was no different. I looked up to him massively. After he passed away, I moved to Sydney and ended up with the big Nate, and also Tom Derricks, who was a player here as well. Obviously, a fair bit going on with the hair, but pretty much escaping that sort of situation to sort of, put my mind towards something, and I found football down there. Had a fair few highs and lows with my football career back there. I had a fair few injuries going in, and then all of a sudden I started cementing my spot in the team. And then 2018, I did my knee in the pre-season. That was after playing sort of consecutive games for the last couple of years, and then that pretty much floored me as you go through sort of like long-term injuries. And on the back of that, I found out a couple of weeks later that my sister here, one of my biggest supporters, she was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer. And that was, for me, I was struggling with injuries and going through a fair bit. But I knew that she was going through so much more. And it put sort of like my stuff into perspective about, what it's really about. So I was able to spend a fair bit of time with her when she was sick, because I was injured as well. So like I was able to sort of like travel to go and spend time with her. I ended up coming back, playing some games of AFL, and then all of a sudden did my knee again. And that was on the back of around the same time. My sister ended up passing away through that COVID break. I was able to spend a fair bit of time with her going through when football was on a bit of a standstill in 2020, and she passed during that break. And then I did my knee. The training session before one of the games that we were going to wear armbands for her, and I didn't tell anyone. Ended up playing the game, and I sort of, the thought of knowing that I was wearing the armband for her was pretty special to me, so I didn't want to miss that opportunity, and knowing that it's probably going to be my last ever AFL game. I ended up having another surgery, and I ended up having 3 when I was at Sydney, and it was pretty full on. My mental health was in a pretty bad way, and I actually took the time to sort of put my hand up and say that I'm struggling. I spoke to a fair few people, and the people around me, close to me, were really supportive, and I ended up finding pottery through it. And and it's kind of a funny way to sort of get into sort of doing it, but I found a release, and I found a community that was so different from football. I found that nothing that you sort of make with pottery can ever be replicated. It takes an immense amount of sort of care and patience, and you can't do it all in one day. And it sort of grounded me, and I found some mindfulness in it, and it's also very delicate, so you've got to be really patient. After Sydney, ended up at Port Melbourne. Yogi's doing a bit. I was able to find my enjoyment for football again, and I was able to just play. When you don't play for a long time, as a few guys that have gone through injuries before would say, that when you don't have something that you can, like if you don't have football and you can't play it, it's taken from you, you realise how much it does mean to you. So I ended up having a pretty good year last year at Port Melbourne. I was happy, happiest probably I've ever been for a long time, and my football reflected that, and I was in a pretty good space. And then it allowed me to sort of end up here at Richmond, and that's sort of where my story is going to finish. So after this year, I'm going to be hanging them up. Spent 11 years in the system, and I've only been here at Richmond for such a short time, but this has been the best year of my football career. I've enjoyed so much about this group here and how it's made me feel. It's been one of the most fulfilling and rewarding opportunities to come in here and work with you guys and represent the club and be able to sort of come back and actually play AFL footy again. It's probably something that when I was at my lowest of lows, something that I didn't really think that was achievable. And then, you know, coming in here and being supported by this group, it's a pretty special place. I want to thank Ooze, Blair and Livo. Thanks for, you know, giving me the opportunity to sort of be a part of what you've got going on here. It's such a special place, and you know, as the chief said before, it's the people involved that make it special. To the players and the staff, I have loved every minute of getting to know each one of you, and I'm so excited to see the rest of everyone's journeys going on over the next couple of years. I'll still be around to help out the boys in the crab group. So we've got this WhatsApp. It's called Craze Rehab and Bonding, for everyone that doesn't know. So I'll still be posting in that. But sort of like with my journey, I've just learnt that perspective is everything, and I've just been so grateful to be able to come in here, and you know, this is such a special place that it's bringing me a smile to my face every time I come in. So thanks to everyone for the opportunity, and yeah, go Tigers. Love you, man. Love you too, bro. Thanks, man.
Great pod.
I've got to come and redo my
pottery.
Yeah, you're going to have to. Cheers, mate.
Well spoken.
Thank you. Cheers.
Awesome. Right, guys.
Thanks, mate. Cheers. Love you too.
Thanks, bro.
Cheers, mate. Thank you.